if you're in Nu Skin for many years now, you ought to have come across this term, empower me. You notice many of the staff, if not all the staff here, they're wearing this t-shirt that says empower me, correct? Yes. So you're going to hear this more and more. And you're going to hear this more and more from Ryan and all the other corporate managers and so on and so forth, because this is sort of a concept and a platform that we're going to use to go forward. And sometimes when we get too excited, we describe a lot of things in Empower Me, and it may actually confuses the issue, and instead of helping you to understand Empower Me, you actually get more confused and you don't really know what the hell Empower Me is all about. All right? So it's rather complicated because the platform took many years. In fact, I would say, it took more than 40 years. That's the lifespan of Nu Skin up to this point to create. And it's all the different pieces that we have created and developed in Nu Skin that we are bringing together. And we sort of believe that bringing it together under this umbrella that's called Empower Me will clearly differentiate and take Nu Skin to the next level. Okay? But fundamentally, why is that thing a little bit skewed? Okay. It's like cellulite. I'll come back to that later. Yeah, this one too, yeah. James, is my eyes playing or? It is a little bit, right? Yeah. So weird thing. Okay, we'll come back to that. Remind me, that's cellulite. So, all right, but fundamentally when you think, no matter what you hear about Empower Me, it's because in Nu Skin, we have become, if not already, we are the leading integrated beauty and wellness company. And here's the proof. The proof is when you look around our competitors, can you actually name another company that is equally strong in nutritional supplements / health supplements together with an equally robust skincare line? You can't find it, right? I mean, Herbalife. Oh, can I mention names? Yeah, I can. I can. You're my friend. You see how you're going to get me into jail? So anyway, so Herbalife, right? For example, we acknowledge they're really rather good on the nutritional side. They have products. I mean, it's no doubt. Their main business is focused on marketing health supplements, right? But they really suck on skincare. They have no skincare products. So they will strong on one side, they're tilted, but they cannot balance it on the other side, right? I don't know what the hell Amway is. Amway sells everything, right? Pots and pans. In some countries they sell tires, right?
Mooncake.
Huh? Oh, they sell mooncake. You name it, they sell it. So it's a very diversified. They like to call it I say they just throw everything on the wall type of company and see what sticks in terms of product. So again, I don't really know where their focus is, if you will. That's why they're moving out from this building, I guess. Huh? That's why they're not used to people to build or keep on stepping on them. That's why they're moving out so they can be on top, right? I don't know where they're going. Anyway, let's stick to the subject. So my main thing is it's hard to find another company that has both nutritional and skincare. And we have over 500 products. I was just talking about this with Joanne. You know, over the years we have accumulated, like it or not, It's like my wife, she's a hoarder, you know? I mean, keep on buying stuff. I say, hey, that thing is, you can still use it. No, it isn't, no. So we have accumulated over 500 products over the last 40 years. And the challenge is, how do you explain the value of that portfolio, if you will, to a customer or potential person who might be interested in those products? It's becoming difficult. So there was another issue and another problem we need to solve. So together with that, the problem is we couldn't solve it a long time ago because we never had the technology to do it. So now we have developed, and you're going to hear a lot that currently Nu Skin is spending up to $500 million to build up the high technology side of things, so that we have this digital and we have all this artificial intelligence and all these other digital tools to be put and drive EmpowerMe and make it easy for all our leaders such as yourself to be able to bring the whole Nu Skin opportunity to a new person. So that's what really about it. On the product side, I look at EmpowerMe also an opportunity, a sort of a way, a very effective and simple way to personalize. Because of ageLOC, we have learned a lot. We can personalize with our products and choose the right mix of products for everybody, for each person, if you will. Okay, so that we are learning from our ageLOC science and all the genetic science we've done over the years that although we are all basically the same, but there are specific individual, unique characteristics of a person that we have to take into account, and it's subtle enough and complicated enough that we need high technology to be able to choose the right mix of products or regimen for that individual. So we can do that now. It's time that we are going to do that. So it's a personalization. EmpowerMe is about personalization. And not just on the product side, there are other tools that we're developing that you'll be getting that are business tools that will help you to personalize. But I think all these things within EmpowerMe is not meant to replace you. Fundamentally, those tools are meant, or this platform in aggregate, when you put all these tools together, it's a platform. That platform is to help you to facilitate what you do in Nu Skin business. All right, that's the new age. Every one of us is now using an iPhone. Every one of us, for all intents and purposes, are buying things online. Every one of us is almost getting all our news through social media. You still have a paper here called the Straits Times, right? Some of us still read the printed hard copy, but most of us now tend to get most of our news online through the smartphone. So that's what it is. And being a leader in science, we've done this. This is like a no-brainer now. It's almost a given in Nu Skin. We have development on the scientific side, and that's because we have this team. And many of you, I think, heard Helen. She was here, last week, talking to you about some other products here in Nu Skin, LumiSpa, I believe. But the reason why she was here, and she might not have mentioned it, but if she did, I'd like to emphasize, she was here to present a paper at the World Cosmetic and Skincare Scientific Conference. It's a global one. That was the main reason why she was here. And the reason why she was here presenting that, and the reason why she could present in that, is because we do the science. If we don't do the science, I don't think we would have been invited to that conference to present that particular paper. Yeah. So this is sort of like the evidence I've always mentioned to you, maybe back in September as well. Science is not something that you can talk. Science is something that you have to do. in many of the disciplines, you sort of like, you can get away with just talking, right? That's why there are many lawyers. Yeah, you can ask James this, when he was in university, there's a hierarchy when you go and try to specialize in subjects. So when you go in and you think you're really clever, you try to major in math, oh, mathematics, I'm really good, right? So, but then again, the first lecture you go to, you sort of say, I really cannot understand math. I better drop. Then you go and do physics, and then you still can't do physics because still a lot of math there. You say, oh, maybe I'll go do chemistry, right? And then after chemistry, you say, well, that's good. Then you finally land on biology. And if you still can't do biology, then you go and become a doctor. Right? Now, that you think that's really easy. And after that, even some people can't become doctors, then they go and become lawyers. I've offended everybody then. This is what I call equal opportunity offending people. There's no discrimination here. So anyway, the point is, the scientists keep on seeing this, is because of doing in the science, is the fact that this team, for intents and purposes, I'm just a mouthpiece for what they do, in that sense. And hopefully you guys appreciate it when I say science is something that you do. It's really something that it's make Nu Skin what it is today. And it's not just all talk, right? And so when the products are great, and soon I will be describing a product to you briefly. If you like it, it's all because of me. So. But if you hate it, some of you are complainers and you talk to Chewy, and you don't like their product and so on, it's not because of me, it's because of these guys. Okay? So I like to call it, it's just like Chewy plays football, it's always, he said, when he scores a goal, it's all about him. Yeah, but he doesn't score it, he names the team. So it's the same thing in science too. But seriously, it's no more, science is not just an individual, it's a team sport, and you should recognize it. And some of the advisors that we have are really our referees, if you'll be able to use a sporting analogy, because they check our science and to make sure that we do the right time. And these buildings you have seen is an investment. It's just a proof. I can stand here and tell you everything and boast about all the stuff and so on. But really, this is a really solid demonstration. After all, that building itself at the top left, that's a $200 million investment, right? So, and the one at the bottom is the one, the R&D center in China. So, this R&D. So, all of you have heard of the 6S process, I hope, if you're in this meeting, correct? Yes. Okay, if you haven't heard about this particular 6S process, you can leave the room now. You should not be sitting here, okay? Because this 6S in America, they all think when I say it, they think I'm saying sick sex. Right? I have no idea why they think that. Yeah, 23 years ago, 23 years ago, when Pharmanex, if some of you also may know the history of Pharmanex, is I came through that door. It's acquired by Nu Skin, right? Yeah, in 1998. Yeah, that was when I first described the 6S to Nu Skin management or the people sitting there. That's what they thought too. Yeah. So difficult sometimes. Yeah. But you know what the 6S is obviously it stands for those 6 steps. And fundamentally, whether you understand the science or not, right, it's about making sure that our products are safe and effective. Yes. Right? So in a way, it's a guarantee, right, that our product should never ever embarrass you. Especially here in Singapore, your island is so small, the people that you approach and you talk to, invariably you're going to meet them in some train in your MRT. And when you're trapped in that train, you don't want to look at the guy and keep on feeling embarrassed. I tried to cheat that guy. At least on the product side, right? So that's the way that I'm hoping, that's what our science is. And I can't say those products are safe and effective if we don't do the scientific studies. Because then I won't have the data or the evidence to be able to prove or be able to, with much confidence, be able to say those products actually, I think I have the scientific data to say that. So that's really what it is, the success process, nothing more, nothing less. And it's not just our word as well. I'll come back to the fact, because talk is cheap. Helen was here last week presenting in the World Skincare Conference and all that. It's a sort of a validation of what we do, right? We want to be transparent. We want to make sure that when we do our scientific studies, that although we have the results, that we want somebody to check it. It's almost like an examiner when you go to a scientific conference, when you present your study. So that's what Helen did, was to be able to present. And we've gone, obviously, over the last 40 years or so, many of these conferences to present other studies as well. So that's what it all means when we do our science. It's hopefully, frankly, it can be pretty boring, and sometimes the language that we use is not easy to understand, but it's really all that when you distill it down to something, what does it really mean? That's what it really means. So age lock, for example. When we started this whole concept of age lock, it's about, all of us get old. And at that point in time, the mindset is, there's nothing you can do. When you get old, you're going to die, and there's no way you can sort of really influence aging. But it depends on how you define aging. The new paradigm is really not about getting old. 1 year from now, you are going to be a year older. But we want to make sure, I think there's enough science now to say that 1 year later, your quality of life can still be preserved. Fundamentally, that's what age lock is all about. Because based on the genes that we've discovered, or at least been able to understand, that there are certain genes that we can influence their activity. That's when we have a significant impact on how you live. Not how you live, but how you can live younger, longer. Big difference. Not living longer. It's living younger, longer. It's about making sure that you're going to die healthy. Right? That one day, some of you have heard this too, that when a person comes to your funeral, they're going to look at a body and say, I want to look like him. Think about it, right? Trying to combine those two things, death and looking good, is what quality of life is all about. That's what it is. It's not about making you living 150 years. Much rather better to live 100 years with a much better quality of life. So that's what the age lock is all about, right? And that's the reason because of our approach and focus on the sources of aging. No more just covering up the signs or the symptoms of aging, like our cosmetics. It's really just looking at, because we know now that if you go, it's like a waterfall. When you go further upstream to the source of the waterfall, you can prevent the water from flowing down much easier than trying to trap all the water at the bottom. So that's what age lock is all about. And it's because of this technology, this gene chip we call it. Physically, it's not very different from the microchip that runs your smartphone. It's really the heart of your smartphone, each and every one of it, including some of the cameras that you have, the digital cameras. It's all about the computer chip, right? And it's silicon. It's a silicon chip. Similarly, we can use that technology or that material, silicon, and put gene fragments on the chip and be able to use it to sense what's happening in the body as well. Right. Very powerful technology. And the reason why it's so powerful is the fact that we can use it to screen all these genes that I've mentioned to you and be able to see that whether the activity changes over time when you put an ingredient into a tissue. And for example, when you use, out of here, there's 5 different tissues, or 5 different ingredients rather, right? Natural product. We want to copy that genetic fingerprint all the way to the left. That's the one that we got from a young, healthy looking piece of tissue. The one slightly on the right, as I label it old gene, is from an old, not aging tissue. Very different genetic fingerprint, activity fingerprint. I think all of us can see that, right? So what we're trying to do is to find an ingredient that will give us a profile on the same genes that matches the one on the left.